Welcome guys to day one of our Cape York expedition. So I'm currently in Point Plummer, so let's see how the day panned out. So I've just reset the odometer and all the trip computers. Take the watch off, I'll explain more later.
Alright, see you.
Alright my man, take care. See you in Cairns.
See you in Cairns.
Yeah, see you my man. You know how you reach that point and you can finally start to relax. I've just hit my point just north of Newcastle at Hexham, where you get back onto the Pacific Highway headed north, and that's the point when I feel, now I know that I'm on a trip and I can start to relax. I have the same point when I go west across the mountains. I have the same point when I go south down the south coast. You reach that point and then you know at that point, yeah, I'm actually on a trip. It's awesome. So I did about 430 odd Ks, I think it was today. It took me about 5 hours, so I was cruising along. I'm trying to stick to 100 Ks an hour just to try and keep some of the fuel costs down, try and keep it a bit more economical. So I'm just here for the one night, and then tomorrow I'm just sort of carrying on headed north really. No real plans. It's Tuesday today and I have to be in Agnes Water on Friday, so I've got sort of 3 days to head up the coast. I've got the surfboard with me, so I'm going to look for some waves, but sort of rough plan tomorrow is sort of hopefully to get to around the Gold Coast, so via Byron Bay. That's the plan anyway. So I've got a whole video on Point Plummer. I'll leave a link to that video at the end of this video. Racecourses Beach, so this is just north of Point Plummer and just south of Crescent Head. Pretty nice spot. There's actually a campground just over there as well, just above where the snorkel is. There's a campground as well that you can camp at right on the beach. Pretty nice spot. Over in the distance, over there, that's Hat Head. Another good spot. Alright, so I'm going to get back in the saddle. Next stop, Lennox Head. Definitely don't be fooled by that faded sign. The bakery at Crescent Head do amazing pies. So I'm now at Lennox Head. I'm just sat perched on a cliff top. It's whale season, so I'm just seeing if I can spot any whales. Right, let's go find a campground, I suppose. So I'm in the rooftops, night number 2. So I only did 368 Ks today, so less than yesterday. Same amount of time, about 5 hours. I was just cruising. So the plan for tomorrow is Byron Bay next, and then sort of head towards the Gold Coast, and we'll just see how we go from there. Byron Bay. Do yourselves a favour and come here, but come out of season. How beautiful is this spot? So I'm currently on Clark's Beach. Yeah, pretty spiky spot, Clark's Beach. I haven't been here for a long time and I forgot how beautiful Byron Bay is. It's not beautiful in peak season though, it gets pretty crowded here. So I'm just walking down this way. So that's the pass. That's a sort of famous surf spot. A right hand sandy point, which is really good when it lines up. The surf's pretty small today. And then over in the distance there, the big mountain in the background, that's Mount Warning. So Mount Warning, I have climbed up Mount Warning. You're not allowed these days, it's been closed unfortunately, because that's a pretty spectacular spot as well. And then just over the headland there was Cape Byron, and that's the most easterly point of Australia, which is kind of fitting really for this trip because I'm going to the most northerly tip, but I'm actually going to save that for another day when the butler's with me. This is why I love coming to places like this out of season. Check out the car park. There's no way you'd get here in summer, no way. Right, we'll go check out Water Goes, see what that's like. There's also Tallows as well, which faces a bit more to the south. But if there's nothing going on at Water Goes, we'll start heading north. Right, so I've got an hour before I have to pay parking, so I'm going to get a quick wave in, and then we'll get back on the road. So annoyingly, I do have to put the watch back on because I need to be back here before I have to pay. I will explain later. So I've got a problem with the solar. I'm not getting any power into the battery, so there's something wrong I think with these terminals that connect here. When I put the voltmeter on the actual terminals, there's 0 volts going in. So I'm not sure whether it's the solar controller that's being the problem or the wiring. And I'm out of gas. So I was actually going to take it all apart and then resolder it, but I'm out of gas in my lighter, so I think I'm going to have to change plans today and try and fix the solar. Yeah, the joys of big trip. So I thought I'd sort of re-evaluated. I have got to get it fixed, but I've still got about 3/4 of charge in that battery at the moment. So I realised the solar wasn't working, but I thought it was just because the surfboard was on sort of partially covering up some of the cells, but it's actually not charging at all. So I think I'll continue as planned today, and then I'll try and sort it out tomorrow. That's the plan anyway. So this is now Cairns Beach. One before was Cabarita. I was hoping to get a wave here, but it's not actually looking too flash today. So we might continue up the coast. Next stop, Gold Coast. Just checking out Greenmount at the moment. There's Snapper Rocks around the corner. You can see Surfers Paradise over in the distance. So you've got Snapper Rocks just around the corner there, and then over that end is Kira, and this one's Greenmount. Doesn't look real flash, but I might just have a quick session and then continue on up the coast, I suppose. So we have just flipped over to the first 1,000 kilometers. So we're now at 1,000 k's. Right, so welcome to day 4 of the road trip from Sydney to Cairns. So last night was a wet, sort of miserable night in this rest area. Yesterday I did about 400 k's, so just north of Brisbane now and to the south of Gympie, just in the rest area. But it took about 8 hours because it was really busy heading north of Brisbane. So today is just going to be an admin day. I'm catching up with a friend at Agnes Water, which is about 3 hours, 3.5 hours, something like that from where I am at the moment. So I'm probably not going to film much today at Agnes Water, purely because I've already done an episode on that, so I'll leave a link to that video at the end of this video. So today is really just going to be an admin day. I need to sort of reorganise the car. I've been living out of it now for 4 days, so it just needs to just be tidied up again. I also need to get some juice into the battery of its Agnes Water later today, and then we'll reconvene in a few days' time in Byfield National Park. It was actually the solar controller that was stuffed. It was actually cheaper in the end to buy a solar blanket. This is actually quite good because I can use the wiring to put a more permanent setup for this trip. I've also got the solar blanket as well, just in case I ever have any trouble with the panel on the roof. About Queensland, $10, whole bag of mandarins and some avocados, awesome.
try it. Where's it coming out? Well, it's coming out everywhere but where I want it to. Let's hope that. Just drip some on your hands.
I'll have some. That is good. How good is that?
I'll crack it open anyway. We'll have a look and see what it is inside that we've just drunk.
Yeah, look at that. That looks really good.
Champion.
Yeah, nice. Check that out. Let's have some. I need a knife. How is it?
Not coconut, you'd be led to believe. I would say that's stale.
Not good. Tastes rotten.
Stale, I think.
Yeah. Oh well, look, it sounded good. Nah.
Well, what was just eating?
A fishy.
Shitting through the eye of the needle later.
So this is day 7 of the Sydney to Cairns road trip. Just clicked over the 2,000 kilometre mark, so 2,000 kilometres since leaving home 7 days ago, and all up about 32 hours of driving. So it's a big day of driving today, about 10 hours all up from Byfield National Park, where I've just left, which was absolutely fantastic, to Townsville. So I'm about 3 hours in that journey at the moment. So it's currently day 8. Well, I arrived here in Townsville last night in the dark, so I couldn't see much. But this is where I'm off to today. So check that joint out over there. So that is Magnetic Island. So tonight, a bit of luxury tonight actually, an Airbnb. I'm going to go over there now as a foot passenger on the ferry. I've left the Prado over there in the Big 4 caravan park. Just got myself organised, did a bit of admin, and now we're off to get the ferry over to this joint. Made it over to Magnetic Island. Check this place out, it is a cracker. How good is that? So yeah, pretty happy to be here. I'm having issues with the microphone actually, so apologies if there's any wind noise on the microphone. Fortunately I've only got the one day on the island, which is a shame because it's such a cool place. Check this beach out here. So what I'm going to do is check as many of the beaches out that I can, go for a swim where I can, and generally, yeah, just have a wander around. There is a bus apparently that I can jump on and off, so I'll do that as well, and just, yeah, just to explore as best I can, I suppose. So before I get into it, I'm just going to talk a bit about the place that I'm staying at, which I think it was from booking.com, Project Tranquility it is. Geez, it was cheap. Can't remember exactly how much I paid now, but I will put it up on the screen once I come to edit this video. But just for the one night, and then the host, Kate, she's just been fantastic. She picked me up from the ferry, she showed me around where all the sites are, gave me all the tips. So yeah, I highly recommend, if you're going to come to Magnetic Island, check out Project Tranquility. It's really, really cool. I'll give you the tour. So this is the living area and kitchen. It's so clean, it smells amazing in here. Just go into the bedroom. All in all, very happy. It definitely could be worth. Right, next mission is to make my way over to that beach over there. I suppose I could have gone the other way, but why go that way when you can go this way? This bit looks a bit interesting. I don't know where I'm going to go now. I'll have a look up there. If not, I'll have to take the shoes off and wade through, I think. Looks like we're nearly there. Just over the top there should be that beach. So the GoPro's decided to poo itself, so I'm going to have to do it on the phone, but I've just got a mate coming to see me. I'll just show you him. Oh, he's hiding now. Where is he? Now I just look like a liar. He's just hiding. He's back again. I think he likes the look of my carrot. Let's see. Come on. Thing. Hey! No, you can't have the whole thing. Don't be greedy. Easy. Come here then. Oi.
Oh, heartache, you left me behind. That's not a man, only a coward gone. Now you're chasing the wind.
Right, so it's day 10 of the solo road trip from Sydney to Cairns. I'm about 200 k's from Cairns at Mission Beach, all up just under 3,000 k's of travelling, about 44 hours of driving, and it's a pretty blustery, not the best day actually for Mission Beach. I'll show you around in a minute, but yeah, I don't think it's doing it justice at the moment. But on the way through, I saw this cassowary. Check this guy out. Yeah, I was pretty lucky. He was just sort of pecking around on the side of the road, so I was well happy because I've never seen a cassowary before. So the watch is back and truly on now. So what's the go with the watch? So anybody that knows me knows that I'm pretty obsessed with time. I seem to get stressed if I'm not on time. If I'm 15 minutes early, then I'm already late, that kind of thing. So because my whole life revolves around time and I'm pretty obsessive about time, when I don't need to worry about time, it's so nice just to take the watch off and not worry about time. But I'm now on a bit of a schedule now. I've got to get to Cairns, I've got to get ready to pick the butler up, meet the others for our bigger trip to the Cape. So I am now more on a schedule, but it's so nice. A few times a year I just ditch the watch for a few days and just eat when I'm hungry, go to bed when I'm tired, get up when I want to get up, that kind of thing, and not obsess too much about the time. So if you haven't done that, if you like me and you obsess about time, then just get rid of it when you can. I don't get to do it very often, but when I do, yeah, it's awesome. All right, let's have a look around anyway. I'll show you Mission Beach. It's a pretty windy day. That's why I went under this sort of makeshift shelter that I just found, because I'm worried about wind on the microphone. There might be some wind noise on the microphone. But yeah, this is pretty much it. So it doesn't actually look that good today, but I'm sure it would be on the right day, but it's still good to be here. It's almost waves there. We're well up in tropical Queensland now. I went past the sign on the way about an hour or so ago indicating that we're in tropical Queensland. Yeah, it definitely feels tropical. So last night had lots of rain. This is sort of the remnants of that weather system, I think, still hanging around. The other thing I like to do when I'm on these trips, similar to the watch, is not check the weather forecast, just sort of wing it. Not that I can do anything about it anyway, and because the trip's 5 weeks all up, I'm bound to get shit weather at some point, I suppose. So yeah, it's nice not worrying about the weather, just sort of rolling with it each day as well. But yeah, so this is Mission Beach. I might just actually drive through actually, and I'll stick the camera on the car. It's pretty small. I thought it might be a bit bigger than that, but that looks okay. So I'm going to continue on after Mission Beach up to Innisfail. I've got a caravan park booked there for tonight, and then I'll only be about 70 odd k's or so from Cairns, so definitely getting up there now. I ain't doing that again. So I'm overnighting here at Innisfail, off the main highway, off the Bruce Highway. It's now about an hour and a half from Cairns. Talking to the guy in reception, and I was asking him about crocs, because I'd seen a crocodile, the first crocodile sort of warning sign down at one of the beaches nearby here. So we're in sort of crocodile proper country now. There is a risk of it, I suppose, even as far south as when we were at Byfield National Park, but we are sort of in the area now. So I was asking him about crocs, and he was saying that up until 1976, that's when they stopped the culling of the crocs, that they pretty much There weren't many in this area at all, but there was a guy that had a crocodile farm who he was producing crocodiles for Louis Vuitton for the shoes and the handbags, and then one day, I don't know when it was, but at some point a big flood came through, and then the water levels rose, all the crocs escaped, and now they're all in the area. So from this point forward, got to be sort of careful around estuaries, around creeks, even around the beaches for the salties, the saltwater crocodiles, because we're now in that part all the way up to the Cape. There's going to be the risk of crocodiles. So welcome to day 11. I'm currently at Byron Bay. Apparently this is the place to spot cassowaries. I haven't seen any yet, so I'm just going to sort of mosey up and down the beach and just see if I can find one. It's not meant to be, I suppose that's how nature is. I've walked up and down the beach a couple of times now, no cassowaries, but I suppose, do I want to go to the beach on a rainy day? Probably not. I don't suppose they're any different, so they'll be over in the jungle somewhere, in the rainforest, over somewhere in there. Yeah, none to be seen. If you are up in far north Queensland, apparently this is the place to come, so Byron Bay. Hopefully you'll have better luck than I have. So after 12 days, finally make it to Cairns, and the weather is awful. I have to say, it feels like a bit of an anticlimax, but I'm going to reserve judgment on Cairns because I don't think you can judge anywhere on weather like this, because it just always looks miserable. You can go to the most amazing places, and on weather like this, it just looks miserable. So I've got a few travel statistics if you are thinking about a road trip from Sydney to Cairns. Alright, so just bear in mind that these stats are for this car and this particular trip, remembering that it took me 12 days to get from Sydney to Cairns. Now you could obviously do it quicker than that, but I chose to stop at the places that I chose. So it was a 12-day trip, all up 3,168 kilometres. That equated to 49.5 hours of driving. And on the sort of freeways, I was trying not to get above 100 k's an hour, and that was to try and make it more economical. But overall, I averaged 64 kilometers an hour. So that was using an average fuel consumption of 14.72 litres per 100 kilometers. Now, bearing in mind that this car is a 4-litre petrol V6, so it's not the most economical of cars. So if you had a more economical car, your average fuel usage is going to be much better than mine. So all up, I used 495.72 litres of petrol, and it cost me $1,036.54. And the price of fuel, the cheapest fuel I got was $1.96 per litre, 95 octane. and the most I paid was $2.26 per litre for 95 octane. Alright, so I'm going to sign out from Cairns. I'm going to head over to the campground and then make my way over to the airport to pick up the butler who's flying in today from Sydney, so that we can start our trip proper, and that is to Cape York. So we started this episode with me and the butler in the car with me, dropping him off from school, and we're ending this episode with me picking him up from Cairns airport. So that pretty much brings it to the end of the episode. So if you've lasted this long, thanks very much. We really appreciate people that watch our videos. And we're now heading back to the campground. It's for my night number 12 and the butler's night number 1.
So thanks again for watching this episode, and hopefully we'll see you in the next few episodes for more of our Cape York adventure.
So until then, take it easy, butlers. Thanks for watching. See ya.
See ya.